Good morning, students. How are you? I hope all are fine. What are you doing, students? Did you finish in your breakfast? I hope all are finished in your breakfast. Is it correct, students? Yes. I hope you are following the preventive measures for corona. Stay home and stay safe. In the midst of this COVID-19, Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan is providing online classes for all KGBV students. So, all the KGBV students must utilize this opportunity of listening the online classes and noting the important points of the class and revise them later also. Don't waste in your time. Time is precious, then gold, and once we lost the time, it will not come back. Is it correct, students? Yes, that's way. I hope you are all are good. Stay safe and home and study well. I hope you are enjoying the online classes and you are learning more watching online classes and online classes students. Okay, that's way you are all of the students is KGBV students are very good students. That's way you are all are utilizing the online classes and listen carefully and noting in your important points in your running notes, and in that running notes also learn it. This is most very useful. Okay, students, this is very important. And then today we will discuss a little topic also. That's why you are all of you listen carefully and write down in your running notes also. Okay, students? Okay. All of you interested in this online classes? I hope all are interested in the online classes and listening the online classes and see the running notes also. Is it correct, students? Yes, it's very good, students. Okay, students, first of all, introduce myself. My name is V. Bhagyalakshmi. I am working as KGBV Ramapuram, Social CRT, YSR Kadapa district. Okay, students, today we will discuss a little topic. Interesting topic also. You are all are listening carefully and write down in your running notes also. Okay, students? Okay, we will start the lesson. Yes, okay. Okay, we will start the lesson, and in this topic before that we will revise the topic of previous classes. Okay, na students? Okay, previous classes we will learn that what is the learn in previous classes. In the previous classes we will learn climate of India. Okay, in this climate of India what we will learn in previous classes? What's the meaning of climate and weather, and also the factors influencing climate and weather. What is the reasons? What is the factors influencing climate and weather? This is also we will learn previous classes. Is it correct, students? Yes. And then also seasons also we will learn the previous classes. Seasons. Okay, students. And then next also we will learn next topic also is there global warming. Global warming and climate changes. In this topic we will discuss in previous classes. Is it correct, students? You are all are learn the previous classes topic also. You are all are very good students. You are learn the topic also. Okay? This is very important topic, climate of India. Okay, students, this is previous classes we will learn in this topic. Okay, we will start the today online classes. Today topic is, this is very important topic, Indian rivers and water sources. Okay, students, what is the topic? Indian rivers and water sources. What's the meaning of Indian rivers? భారతదేశ నదులు మరియు నీటి వనరులు. Okay, students, today with topic is Indian rivers and water sources. This is the very important topic. In this topic, the drainage of India has evolved adjusted itself with the evaluation of the three physiographic units. The first one is the Himalayas, and the second one is Peninsular Plateau, and the third one is Indo-Gangetic Plain. Once again I will repeat evaluation of physical units. They are divided into three types. The first one is the Himalayas, and the second one is Peninsular Plateau, and the third one is Indo-Gangetic Plain. This is the very most important. Okay, on the basis of its origin and drainage system in India can be broadly divided into two categories. Divided into two categories. Once again I can explain. On the basis of its origin, drainage system in India can be broadly divided into two categories. What's the two categories? See, the two categories is, first one is the Himalayan rivers and the second one is peninsular rivers. What's that? First one, the Himalayan rivers, and then second one is peninsular rivers. What is the meaning of Himalayan rivers and what's the meaning of peninsular rivers? We will explain in this online classes. Himalayan rivers means Himalaya Nadulu, and then peninsular rivers means Dvipakalpa Nadulu. This is very most important topic in this lesson. We will discuss first one, the Himalayan rivers. Okay students, the Himalayan rivers. Okay, what's the meaning of Himalayan rivers? What's the matter in this topic? The Himalayan rivers belong to the three principal systems. What is that three principal systems? The very important Himalayan rivers is, first one is the Indus River. The first one is the Indus River. Second one is the Ganga River. Second one is the Ganga River. And the third one is the Brahmaputra River. Listen carefully students, all of you write down in your running notes also. The Himalayan rivers are divided in very important rivers is three types. First one is the Indus River, second one is the Ganga River, and then third one is Brahmaputra River. Okay students, this is very important topic also. Okay, the first flows parallel to the main axis of mountains, then they take a sudden bend towards the south, cutting through the massive mountain chain to reach the North Indian plains also. In the process, they have covered out deep V-shaped valleys. This is well exhibited by Indus and Brahmaputra rivers. This is very important. The Indus and Brahmaputra river also V-shaped valley. We have see the V-shaped valleys. Okay. The Himalayan rivers are perennial. This is because the rivers are supplied on rainfall as well as the melting snow. This is very important. Okay పిల్లలు, the Himalayan rivers అంటే మనకి హిమాలయాల నదులు. మరి హిమాలయాల నదుల్లో ముఖ్యమైనవి ఏంటంటే గంగా, సింధు, బ్రహ్మపుత్ర నదులు. ఈ నదులు దాదాపు ఒకే ప్రాంతంలో కొన్ని కిలోమీటర్ల వ్యత్యాసంతో పుట్టి పర్వత శ్రేణుల వల్ల వేరు చేయబడతాయి. అవి మొదట పర్వతాల ప్రధాన అక్షానికి సమాంతరంగా ప్రవహిస్తాయి. తర్వాత ఏమవుతాయంటే ఒక్కసారిగా అవి దక్షిణానికి మలుపు తిరిగి ఎత్తైన పర్వత శృంఖలాల కొనుక్కుంటూ ఉత్తర భారతదేశ మైదానాలను చేరుకుంటాయి. మరి ఈ క్రమంలో ఇవి లోతైన వి ఆకారపు లోయలను ఏర్పరిచాయి. ఇది సింధు, బ్రహ్మపుత్ర నదుల్లో మనకి బాగా కనబడతాయి. సింధు, బ్రహ్మపుత్ర నదులు బాగా కనబడతాయి. ఇది చాలా వరకు వర్షపాతం కలుగుతున్న మంచునీళ్ళు అందడం వల్ల జీవన నదులుగా పిలుస్తున్నారు. ఓకేనా స్టూడెంట్స్, దిస్ ఈజ్ హిమాలయన్ రివర్స్. I can explain the Indus rivers. The first river is very important river is Indus River. Okay students, we will discuss Indus River. What's the Indus River? What is the main important points of Indus River also? Okay students. Okay, the Indus rivers. The Indus originates in the northern slopes of Kailash range in the Tibet near Lake Manasarovar. Okay students, the Indus originate in the northern slope of the Kailash range in Tibet near Lake Manasarovar. It flows a northwesterly course through the Tibet. It enters in territory in Jammu and Kashmir. The Indus River enters Indian territory in Jammu and Kashmir. This is very important. Once again I can explain. Write down in your running notes also. In the Indus River, it flows a northwesterly course through the Tibet It enters Indian territory in Jammu and Kashmir. The main tributaries of Indus in India are Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, and Satluj. Once again, I can explain the main tributaries of Indus in India are Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Satluj. This is very important tributaries. See the picture, see the map, students. This is Indian Indus River map. Okay, students, this is very important. See the picture carefully, see the map carefully. This is Indus River. Okay. The main tributaries, write down in your running notes. The main tributaries of the Indus in India are Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, and Satluj. It covers Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, and Himachal Pradesh states of India. See the map picture. This is Himachal Pradesh also is there, and then Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir. It covers the Himachal Pradesh covers of states in India, Indus River. Okay, students. Once again I can explain. It covers Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, and Himachal Pradesh states of India. This is Indus River. Don't worry, students. Once again I can explain. Listen carefully and write down your running notes. Okay. The Indus originates in the northern slopes of Kailas range in Tibet near Lake Manasarovar. It follows a northwesterly course through the Tibet. It enters Indian tributaries in Jammu and Kashmir. The main tributaries of Indus in India are Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, and Satluj. It covers Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, and Himachal Pradesh states of India. This is Indian river, students. See the river. This is Indus River. Okay, students. Okay మా మరి సింధు నది వ్యవస్థలో ఏమేమి ఉన్నాయో ఒకసారి తెలుగులో చెప్పుకుందాము. మరి టిబెట్లోని మానస్ సరోవరం దగ్గర కైలాస్ పర్వతాల్లోని ఉత్తర వాలుల వద్ద సింధు నది మొదలైంది. మరి ఇది టిబెట్ గుండా వాయువ్య దిశగా పయనిస్తుంది. భారతదేశంలోని జమ్మూ కాశ్మీర్లో ప్రవేశిస్తుంది. ఓకేనమ్మా. మరి ఈ సింధు నదికి భారతదేశంలో చాలా వరకు ఉపనదులు ఉన్నాయి. మరి అవి ఏమో తెలుసుకుందామా. మరి సింధు నది ఉపనదులు ఏమి అంటే జీలం, చినాబ్, రావి, బియాస్, సట్లెజ్ మొదలైనవి ప్రధాన ఉపనదులన. దీంట్లో భారతదేశంలో జమ్మూ కాశ్మీర్, పంజాబ్, హిమాచల్ ప్రదేశ్ రాష్ట్రాల్లో ఇవి ప్రవేశిస్తుంది. ఓకేనా స్టూడెంట్స్. ఓకే, ద నెక్స్ట్ రివర్ ఈజ్ గంగా రివర్. వాట్స్ దట్? నెక్స్ట్ రివర్ ఈజ్ గంగా రివర్. Okay students, the Ganga has twin sources. The main one is the Gangotri glacier where it is called the Bhagirathi. The other is the northwest of Badrinath where it is called the Alaknanda. Badrinath where northwest of Badrinath where it is called the Alaknanda. This is very important. Okay students, this see the map. This is Ganga river map. Okay, in this river map we see that carefully the two join at Devaprayaga to from the Ganga that emerges from the hills of Haridwar. Okay students, once again I can explain. The two join at Devaprayaga to form the Ganga that emerges from the hills of Haridwar. The Ganga is joined by a large number of tributaries. See the map, a large number of tributaries we can see in this map. Okay students. Okay, the majority of them originates in the Himalayan ranges, but some of them have their sources in peninsular plateau. Okay students, once again I can explain. The Ganga has twin sources. The main one is the Gangotri glacier where it is called Bhagirathi. The other is the northwest of Badrinath where it is called the Alakananda. The two join at Devaprayag to form the Ganga that emerges from the hills of Haridwar. Okay students, listen carefully, all of you write down your running notes also. Okay, the Ganga is joined by a large number of tributaries also is there. The majority of them originates in the Himalayan ranges, but some of them have their sources in the peninsular plateau. This is very very important river, the Ganga river. Okay students, మరి ఈ గంగా నదిలోని ఏమేమి మనం చూస్తామనే విషయానికి వస్తే, గంగా నది, సీ దిస్ రివర్ మే స్టూడెంట్స్, దిస్ ఈజ్ గంగా రివర్. ఓకే, ద గంగా నదిలోని మరి ఇది రెండు నదుల కలయిక ద్వారా మనకి ఏర్పడిందిమ్మా. ఒకటి గంగోత్రి, హిమాని నదం దగ్గరే పుట్టి భగీరథి. రెండవది బద్రీనాథ్ వాయువ్య దిశలో సతప్నాథ్ దగ్గర పుట్టే అలకనంద. ఓకేనా, మరి ఈ రెండు దేవప్రయాగ్ వద్ద కలిసి గంగా నదిగా మనకి మారుతుందన్నమాట. మరి హరిద్వార్ వద్ద పర్వతాలను వదిలి మైదానాల్లోనికి ప్రవేశిస్తుంది. మరి ఈ గంగా నదిలో అనేక ఉపనదులు వచ్చి చేరుతున్నాయి. మరి వీటిలోని అనేకం హిమాలయ పర్వతాల్లోనే పుడతాయి, కొన్ని ద్వీపకల్ప పీఠభూముల్లో కూడా పుట్టేటి ఉన్నాయి. కాబట్టి ఈ గంగా నది అనేది మనం ఎంతో ముఖ్యమైన హిమాలయ నదుల్లో ఒక నదిగా మనము చెప్పుకుంటున్నాం. అర్థమైందమ్మా? మరి ఈ గంగా నది మనకి ఏమని చెప్తున్నారు? రెండు నదుల కలయిక ద్వారా పుట్టిందని చెప్తున్నారు. ఏంటంటే అవి రెండు నదులు భగీరథి, అలకనంద. ఈ రెండు నదుల కలయిక వలన మనకి ఏం ఏర్పడింది? గంగా నది ఏర్పడింది. ఓకేనా పిల్లలు? మరి ఈ నదుల్లో అనేక ఉపనదులు అనేవి మనకి కనబడుతున్నాయి. ఇంతకుముందు మ్యాప్లో చూసారు కదనా, చాలా వరకు ఎన్నో రకాల ఉపనదులన్నీ కూడా ఈ గంగా నదిలో మనకి కనబడుతున్నాయి. కాబట్టి మనకి హిమాలయ నదుల్లోని సింధు నది తర్వాత అతి ముఖ్యమైన నదిగా గంగా నదిని మనము చెప్పుకుంటాం. అర్థమైంది కదమ్మా? ఓకే స్టూడెంట్స్, దిస్ ఈజ్ గంగా రివర్. ఓకే, దిస్ ఈజ్ వెరీ వెరీ మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ రివర్ ఆఫ్ హిమాలయన్ రివర్స్. ఓకేనా స్టూడెంట్స్, దిస్ ఈజ్ very very important. All of you listen carefully. All of you understood in this Ganga river? I hope all are understood the Ganga river and also Indus river also. Okay na students, this is very very most important rivers, the Himalayan rivers. Okay, and then next one is the Himalayan rivers. Third one is Brahmaputra river. What is that? Third one is the Brahmaputra river. The Brahmaputra river also one type of Himalayan rivers. Students, this is very very important also. Okay, in this Brahmaputra also rises from snout of the Chimyangdam glacier of Kailas range near Manas Sarovar. Kailas range, Manas Sarovar. Chimyangdam glacier of the Kailas range near Manas Sarovar. This is very very important. Once again I can explain. Write down your running notes students. The Brahmaputra rises from the snout of the Chimyangdam glacier of the Kailas range near Manas Sarovar. It flows eastwards through the southern Tibet. It flows eastwards through southern Tibet. Okay na students? It flows eastwards through southern Tibet. Okay, near Lhotse Stang. It's open out into wide navigable channel from about 640 kilometers. See the map. This is Brahmaputra river. See the map students, all of you, Brahmaputra river. Okay, thereafter the rivers breaks through the sections of rapids. It enters in a great loop southwest through Arunachal Pradesh in India. See this map, Arunachal Pradesh is there. Okay, Arunachal Pradesh, India, first as Siang and then as the Dihang. Emerging into the Assam Valley, it is joined by two tributaries, the Dibang and then Lohit. Okay, the two tributaries. What is the two tributaries of Brahmaputra? The Dibang and the Lohit. This is tributaries of main importance of Brahmaputra river. Okay students? Okay, from here the river is known as the Brahmaputra river. This is very very important river also, Himalayan river students. In this Brahmaputra river also very very important. All of you listen carefully and write down. In the Brahmaputra river also, once again I can explain, listen carefully, don't waste in your time. ఓకే స్టూడెంట్స్, ఓకే, ఈ బ్రహ్మపుత్ర రివర్ అనేది మనకి ఏ విధంగా అర్థమవుతుంది అంటే, మరి బ్రహ్మపుత్ర రివర్ మానసరోవరం వద్ద, దిస్ ఈజ్ బ్రహ్మపుత్ర రివర్ స్టూడెంట్స్. ఓకే, బ్రహ్మపుత్ర మానసరోవరం వద్ద కైలాస పర్వతాల్లోని చమ్యంగ్ డామ్ హిమానీ నది వద్ద పుట్టిందనమాట. మరి ఇది దక్షిణ టిబెట్ గుండా ఇది తూర్పునకు ప్రవహిస్తుంది. లోట్సే సాంగ్ దగ్గర జల ప్రయాణానికి అనువుగా ఉండే వెడల్పైన నదిగా మారి 640 కిలోమీటర్ల వరకు ఇది ప్రవహిస్తుంది. మరి ఆ తర్వాత అనేక జలపాతాల ద్వారా అది పాయలుగా మారిపోతుంది. భారతదేశంలోని అరుణాచల్ ప్రదేశ్లో నైరుతి దిశగా పెద్ద మలుపు తిరుగుతుందన్నమాట. ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఆ విధంగా మలుపు తిరుగుతుంది. ఇక్కడ దీన్ని సియాంగ్ అని, దిహాంగ్ అని 2 పేర్లతో పిలుస్తూ ఉంటారు. అస్సాం లోయలోకి వచ్చినప్పుడు మాత్రము దిబాంగ్, లోహిత్ అనే 2 ఉపనదులు దీంట్లో చాలా ముఖ్యమైనదిమ్మా. అరుణాచల్ ప్రదేశ్ ముఖ్యమైన ఉపనదులు దిబాంగ్, లోహిత్ అనే నదులు. ఇక్కడ బ్రహ్మపుత్ర నదిగా మనం దీన్ని పిలుస్తాం. ఓకే స్టూడెంట్స్, ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ బ్రహ్మపుత్ర రివర్. ఓకే, వెరీ గుడ్. ఓకే, అండ్ దెన్ నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్, హిమాలయన్ రివర్స్ ఆల్సో ఓవర్. హిమాలయన్ రివర్స్ ఆల్సో ఓన్లీ 3 types. వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ హిమాలయన్, ఇండస్ రివర్, గంగా రివర్ అండ్ బ్రహ్మపుత్ర రివర్. అండ్ దెన్ నెక్స్ట్ రివర్ ఈజ్ పెనిన్సులర్ రివర్స్ ఆల్సో ఈజ్ దేర్. Okay students, the peninsular river will discuss peninsular rivers. Okay, the Western Ghats are the water divided between the major peninsular rivers, discharging their water in the Bay of Bengal and a small rituals joining the Arabian Sea. The most of the major peninsular rivers except Narmada and Tapati flows from west to east. This is very very important. The peninsular rivers also very very important. The peninsular rivers discharging their water, the Bay of Bengal and small rivers joining the Arabian Sea. Most of the major peninsular rivers except Narmada and Tapati flows from west to east. This is very very important ma. మరి ఇక్కడ బంగాళాఖాతం ద్వీపకల్ప నదులు అరేబియా సముద్రంలో కలిసి చిన్న నదుల మధ్య విభాజక క్షేత్రంగా పశ్చిమ కనుమల్లో ఉంటాయన్నమాట. మరి నర్మదా, తపతి నదులు మాత్రము తూర్పు వైపుకు ప్రవహిస్తూ ఉంటాయి. అంటే అదొకటి డిఫరెంట్గా ఉంటుందన్నమాట. పెనిన్సులర్ రివర్స్లో అన్నిటికన్నా డిఫరెంట్గా నర్మదా, తపతి పశ్చిమ వైపు ప్రవహిస్తూ ఉంటాయన్నమాట. కాబట్టి ఈ ద్వీపకల్ప నదుల్లోని మనకి అన్నీ కూడా ఏ విధంగా ఉంటాయంటే అరేబియా సముద్రంలో కలుస్తూ ఉంటాయన్నమాట. బంగాళాఖాతంలో కలిసే ద్వీపక నదులకు అరేబియా సముద్రంలో కలిసే చిన్న నదులకు మధ్య విభాజక క్షేత్రంగా పశ్చిమ కనుమలు ఉంటాయన్నమాట. ఓకేనా, దిస్ ఈజ్ పెనిన్సులర్ రివర్స్. అండ్ దెన్ పెనిన్సులర్ రివర్స్, ద వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ రివర్స్ ఆల్సో ఈజ్ దేర్. వాట్ ఈజ్ దేర్? We'll discuss the peninsular rivers. The important peninsular rivers is 3 types. First one is the Godavari river, and then second one is the Krishna river, and then third one is Kaveri river. Once again I can explain the very very important peninsular rivers also divided into 3 types. The very very important rivers. What is that? First one the Godavari river, and then second one Krishna river, and then third one Kaveri river. Okay students, all of you listen careful and write down in your running notes also. This is very very important. The peninsular rivers 3 types: Godavari, the Krishna and then Kaveri. This is very very important rivers of peninsular river. ఓకేనా పిల్లలు, మనకి ద్వీపకల్ప నదుల్లోని ముఖ్యంగా ఈ 3 నదుల్ని కూడా చెప్పుకుంటాం. అవి ఏంటి అంటే గోదావరి, కృష్ణ, కావేరి. ఓకేనా, దిస్ ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ మా. ఇవి చాలా వరకు నోట్ చేసుకోండి రన్నింగ్ నోట్స్లో. ఓకేనా స్టూడెంట్స్? ఓకే స్టూడెంట్స్, ఓకే, వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్ రివర్? కృష్ణా రివర్. సీ దిస్ మ్యాప్, దిస్ ఈజ్ కృష్ణా రివర్. ఓకే, the Krishna river is the 4th biggest river in terms of water inflows and river basin area in India, after the Ganga, Godavari and Brahmaputra. The river is almost 1288 kilometers long. The river is also called Krishnaveni. In this Krishna river is also called Krishnaveni. Okay students, it is one of the major sources of irrigation for Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. It is one of the major sources of irrigation for Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Are you understood students? This is Krishna river. See this river? In this river is Krishna river. In the Krishna river is the fourth biggest river in terms of water inflow and river basin area in India. Okay students, in this river kilometers is 1288 kilometers. In this rivers also called Krishnaveni. In the river is also called Krishnaveni. It is one of the major sources of irrigation for Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Okay students, do you understand Krishna river? Okay. The next river. See this river. What is that map? Godavari river map. Okay students, this is Godavari river. See the map. See. Okay. Godavari river, scarred river of central and southern India. This is central and southern India. One of the longest river in India. This is longest river in India. Its total length is about 910 miles. 910 miles. Okay students. And it has a drainage basin of some 121,000 square miles. This is basin of some 121,000 square miles. Okay students. See this river. This is Godavari river. And then this is Ghats along the Godavari river in Nasik, Maharashtra in India. This is Godavari river in Nasik, Maharashtra in India. This is Godavari river. Are you understood students? Listen carefully. All of you write down in your notebook also. Okay students. Once again I can explain. Listen carefully. This is Godavari river, scarred river, central southern in India. One of the longest river in India. Okay. It is total length is about 910 miles. Total length is about 910 miles. Okay students, and it has a drainage basin of some of 121,000 square miles. This is also. And then the Godavari river goes along the in Nasik, Maharashtra in India. This is Godavari river. Okay, are you understood students? This is Godavari river. Listen carefully all of you. Okay. And then next river. This is when a peninsular river. Last river is Kaveri river. See this river? This is Kaveri river. Okay students. Kaveri river is an Indian river flowing through the states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The following Kaveri river, Indian river flowing through the states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The Kaveri river rises at Talkaveri in Brahmagiri range and Western Ghats. Okay students, Western Ghats. And then in this Kaveri river, sea level flows for about 800 kilometers before it outfall into the Bay of Bengal. Okay students, and it reaches the sea in Coimbatore and districts. Okay, it is the third largest river after Godavari and Krishna. This is Kaveri river, the third largest river, Godavari and Krishna river. Okay students, this is very most important river also, Kaveri river. Once again I can explain, write down in your notebook also. Kaveri river is an Indian river flowing through the states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The Kaveri river rises at Talsagiri and Brahmagiri range in Western Ghats. Brahmagiri range in Western Ghats. Okay students. And then in this Karnataka at elevation of 1341 meters above mean sea level and flows for about 800 kilometers before its outfall into the Bay of Bengal. See this map. This is Kaveri River map. Okay, students. Srirangapatnam, Brahmeshwari and Tiruchinappalli and Tanjavur also is there in this map. Kaveri River. Okay, students. And then in this Kaveri, it is the third largest river after Godavari and Krishna River. Okay. And then southern India in the largest state of Tamil Nadu, which on its course the state into the north and south. This is Kaveri River. Okay, students, are you understood? Peninsular rivers also divided into three types of river. The very important rivers. This is Krishna, Godavari and Kaveri River. Okay, students, in the Kaveri River also very important. And then in this peninsular rivers also two types of rivers also is there. What is that? Narmada and Tapati. In the peninsular rivers was very important. Narmada Tapati flows from west to east. Okay, students, this is. Okay, students, the next topic is water uses. How to water uses. See the picture. In this water uses, water cycle also is there. In the water sources, how to uses in water sources. Okay, now we will discuss in this topic also today. Water is the resources that becomes available to use as annual flow. We try to estimate how much we would be able to use during the year. In order to do this, we need to recall the water cycle. See the picture. This is water cycle picture. Okay, students, we will estimate inflow and outflow during the year. Outflow and inflow can be estimated different levels for small watersheds on entire river basin. This is very important. In order to this, we need to recall the water cycle and estimate the inflow-outflow during the year, and outflow and inflow can be estimated different levels for small watersheds and entire river basin. Okay, and then now explore the ideas of water budget as it would apply to small or large regions such a village or district also. Okay, students, and then first we will discuss inflow process. What is that water cycle inflow process also we will discuss. For any area, inflow equal to precipitation plus surface of flow and plus groundwater flow. This is inflow process. Inflow process. Okay, students, inflow process is, once again I can explain, write down in your notebook. Precipitation plus surface flows and plus groundwater flow. This is inflow process. Okay, now students. Okay, the surface flows includes rivers, streams, canals and other flows on the surface. And groundwater flows is difficult to estimate, but it can be done. Precipitation includes snow, dew, hail, etc. To estimate the precipitation of an area, we take an average over many years of, since the precipitation varies from year to year. Okay, students, this is inflow process. Okay, and then next outflow process also is there. Outflow process, how to water uses. Okay, and then an outflow process or evaporation system. Okay, students, evaporation. Okay, this is also outflow process. And then next, water flowing outside and surface flows and groundwater also. See the picture. In this picture also we will see surface water outflow process also is a groundwater outflow process. Okay, students. And then water for agriculture also is there. Water for agriculture. We can use agriculture also. And then water used from domestic purpose and for animals also is there. Water is domestic purpose and for animals also. And then water for industrial use also is there. This is outflow process, students. Very important. Outflow process also is there. Outflow process is evaporation transpiration. Evapotranspiration also outflow process. And then water flowing out surface flows and groundwater. And then next one, water for agriculture. And then next one, water used for domestic purpose for animals. This is also outflow process, students. And then last one is water for industrial use. This is also outflow process. This is very very important, students. అంటే మరి అవుట్ఫ్లో ప్రాసెస్ అంటే ఏంటంటే మా బాహ్య ప్రవాహాలు. బాహ్య అంటే బయట ఏ విధంగా ప్రవహిస్తూ ఉంటాయి, నీరు ఏ విధంగా ఉపయోగించుకుంటున్నాం. బాష్పోత్సేకం దేనివల్ల అంటే బాష్పోత్సేకం అవుట్ఫ్లో ప్రాసెస్ కింద ఉంటుంది. అలాగే భూగర్భ ప్రవాహాల ద్వారా బయటకు పోయే నీళ్ళు కూడా అవుట్ఫ్లో ప్రాసెస్ కిందకే వస్తుంది. అండ్ దెన్ అలాగే వ్యవసాయానికి కూడా నీళ్ళు ఉపయోగిస్తాము. అలాగే ఇంకా దేనికి ఉపయోగిస్తాం మనము, గృహ అవసరాలకు, పశువులకు కూడా నీటిని వినియోగిస్తాం కదా, ఇది కూడా బాహ్య ప్రవాహాల కిందే వస్తుంది. అండ్ దెన్ పారిశ్రామిక అవసరాలకు కూడా నీటిని ఉపయోగిస్తాం. అర్థమైందా? దిస్ ఈజ్ వాటర్ యూజెస్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్ఫ్లో అండ్ outflow process. Okay students, all of you understood this topic? Okay students, we will discuss rational and equitable uses of water. For example, okay students, one example we will discuss rational and equitable uses of water. Such plans in implementation schemes are possible. Hiware Bazar village in an example. See the picture. This is Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana also is there. Okay. In the Hiware Bazar was selected under the Adarsh Gram Yojana of Maharashtra government for watershed and all-round development of the village. Okay students, Hiware Bazar was selected under the Adarsh Gram Yojana of Maharashtra government for watershed and all-around development of the village. Hiware Bazar is located in Ahmednagar district in Maharashtra. Hiware Bazar is located in Ahmednagar district in Maharashtra. Okay students, this is Adarsh Gram Yojana. Okay, in this Ahmednagar district is drought prone with an average annual rainfall about 400 millimeters. Okay, Ahmednagar district is drought prone with an average annual rainfall about 400 millimeters. And then the soil and water conservation works in Hiware Bazar were implemented on common land and on private grasslands. Okay students, common land and on private grasslands also is there. Okay, when Adarsh Gram Yojana was launched in Maharashtra, there were also some preconditions set for selection of villages. The significance of these 5 ideas needs to be understood keeping in mind the situation in Hiware Bazar at that time. In the late 1980s, tree felling and open grazing the common amongst both rich and poor households. This is Adarsh Gram Yojana. Are you understood students? In this Adarsh Gram Yojana was implemented by Hiware Bazar in Maharashtra. In this program also very very important, launching in Maharashtra. Okay students, Maharashtra we will discuss. Hiware Bazar selected was Adarsh Gram Yojana of Maharashtra government for washable watershed and all around development of village. In the Hiware Bazar is located in Ahmednagar district in Maharashtra. Okay, all of you understood students? This is also very very important rational and equitable use of water. An example also, one example this is. Okay, are you understood? All of you understood in this topic? Okay, very good students. All of you write down in your notebook also. This is the topic of Indian rivers and water sources. All of you understood in this Indian rivers and water resources? Of course, I hope all are understood in this topic, Indian rivers and water sources. Okay students? Okay, all of you write down your running notes and then running notes also landed. This is also very very important topic. Okay students? Very good. Okay students, today homework. Okay, write in your notebook. First question is, what are the different inflow and outflow process in the context of water sources, water resources? Once again I can explain, write in your notebook. What are the different inflow and outflow process in the context of water resources? Second question. Which of the inflow or outflow process has most impact in the context of groundwater resources? Which of the inflow or outflow process has most impact in the context of groundwater resources? The two questions is homework. Tomorrow homework. All of you learn the question also. Okay. Okay students. All of you learn also in these questions. This is very important questions in this lesson. All of you understood in this lesson? Okay. I hope all are understood. Okay students? Okay. Okay students. Thank you. Thank you given opportunity. Thank you one and all.